Alrighty. Yo, yo. All right, cool. All right. So what is with this thing? Hold on. I don't know why it'd be doing that, man. Yo. All right. Yeah, it's working. No, it's working now. All right. So basically, this is gonna be a video breakdown of everything Ninja Gaiden 4 today. I was asleep, so like I did hear about it. I didn't see nothing on it at all. So we just gonna go. Let me rename this title. Hold on. Edit the title. Oh, can't edit the title. All right. Look, wait. That's right. That's just leave title. It's fine. All right. So this is like everybody video. Everybody's Ninja Gaiden 4 hands-on video today. Let me just make sure this thing is functioning correctly, and I will start because I am hungry and I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be on this for God, bro. And I'm gonna fix the Demon Slayer videos from yesterday and today because it's just mainly the music that that's the problem. So I'll fix that. I'll handle that. So I don't like uploading like games like that because it do that. But all right, let's get straight into it because I ain't got all day. I'm saying it like I'm old, right? I am old now. Let's go. Ninja Gaiden 4 stuff. What? Whose review is this? Let me start. Hold on. Let me start because I had a couple of different reviews. Ninja Gaiden 4 spotkała się z równie silnym dostępu oraz przyjaznym. That's somebody else's review. I'm actually skip that one just because it doesn't have a translation. Let's go to the next one. Early preview Ninja Gaiden. Actually, I'm gonna save this one. I know this guy. He's pretty cool. He's pretty where's the IGN one? Okay. Okay, first off, slow down with the sounds. Like, slow down with the sounds. Let's run that back. I didn't expect it to start like that, but go ahead. Oh, yes. It sounds a little bit slightly cleaner.
It's the early 2000s. Years before a little game called Dark Souls would forever change the landscape of the action and action RPG genre.
That's sad to hear that. Like for real. Like, Dark Souls didn't change that. Dark Souls is its own thing, bro. Just because everybody hopped on Souls games nuts does not mean that that's the pinnacle peak of hack and slash games, like, or action RPGs or any action game in general. Don't do that.
It was a time mostly without stamina bars.
Oh, it's not a Soul game. It's not good. Like, go somewhere with that.
Of combat ruled above all else.
Look at that.
Time when games like God of War 1 and 2,
God of War
1 and 3, and God Hand blazed the trail for us to follow. But if you ask me, there was one game that stood above all of them. A masterclass fashion.
Look at that.
And thrilled to engage me with aggressive enemy
OT, boy.
gorgeous visuals, and the most
Kaitsu. Oh, man, 2 swords.
That game and later Ninja Gaiden Black.
All right, you're spamming now.
I made a whole feature on why I think Ninja Gaiden is the pinnacle of the action genre. So I won't spend too much time on that here. But the point of all this preamble is to say that my expectations coming into Ninja Gaiden 4 were massive. And yet, somehow, based on the 4 chapters of this preview build, it's living up to them. This is exactly why I've always wanted a modern Ninja Gaiden game to be.
Sure.
Let's get one thing out of the way.
Whoa. Let's get hold on. Yes, wait, go back. I wanted to look at that. Okay. So, the Hayabusa.
Exactly.
I think his Nimpo meter is the bar in the bottom left, if I'm not mistaken. So he has 4 Nimpos, it looked like, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he switched. He was on Void. It looked like he switched to Inferno, but he got this overlay on the screen, so I couldn't tell. Run it back. Okay. He has Inferno, Void. Whatever is connected to the right button is disabled, and the left looks like the Phoenix. So maybe you have the Phoenix wheels. It might not be wind. It looks like Phoenix to me.
Of this preview build, it's living up to them. This is exactly why I've always wanted a modern Ninja Gaiden game to be.
Don't lie to yourself. let me stop, bro. I'm doing that too much. Yeah. All right. So as you saw, I don't know if you caught it because this thing doesn't let me rewind straight. But that yellow bar is the Nimpo meter. Okay. When you use it, you look like bow, boom, bow, boom, bow. There you go. This Nimpo meter. The meter underneath that, the circle thing, that's the enhanced move. I'm pretty sure.
Let's get one thing out of the way first. While this is co-developed by Platinum Games, make no mistake, this feels like Team Ninja's Ninja Gaiden through and through, regardless of whether you're playing as Ryu Hayabusa or newcomer Yakumo. There's no split of Yakumo's levels feeling like the Platinum Games protagonist, and Ryu's feeling like traditional Ninja Gaiden. The 2 characters do have distinct playstyles and movesets, but you'll be doing a lot of the same tricks.
What? Hold on, the enemy just bodied you. How are you standing? Wait a minute.
Characters do have
look, enemy knocked you up in the air. He did a Dragon Ball Z. He was like, he hit you with the Vegeta move. Wow. Oh, and whoa, what in the world?
Characters do have distinct playstyle.
He's gonna dodge out of it. Where is the meter for you to do that? Because that looked crazy. That has to take meter. What in the world? Move? That is a cheating move. You just can't. How do you have a move, the enemy combo you, and it's like, nah, I negate your combo?
Movesets, but
that's
you'll be doing
crazy.
A lot of the same tricks with both characters, from Mizuna drops,
boom,
to guillotine throws,
right,
quick charge ultimate attacks, etc.
Right. Okay.
Where Platinum's influence is truly felt is in the absolutely wild segments in between bouts of combat. One level felt like a demonic 3D Sonic stage as I had to bounce between physics-defying rails while avoiding getting shot by a helicopter.
Bounce between physics to find rails.
Rail to wall, back to rail. finishing off with a dramatic.
Imagine being a god at Masked Ninja and then you just lose to a rail segment.
It was just one of the many times I grinned like a giddy little child, laughing out loud and shouting, "That was so sick!" When it comes to the fundamentals of combat, Ninja Gaiden 4 feels like an even
alright, bro. Like y'all actually spamming the Zulu drop now. Like there's more moves in the game, bro.
And of course, the signature flying swallow attack that allows you to quickly dash towards.
Why did it slow motion like that though?
And slice their head off with just a single strike. New to Ninja Gaiden 4 is a powered-up form for both Yakumo and Ryu, accessed by holding down the left trigger that allows them to use slower but much harder hitting attacks.
Right, the enhanced
powered by a meter that is filled primarily by landing hits with your base form and by using obliteration techniques on dismembered foes.
The circle thing I was talking about. I know I'm right.
To break through an enemy's guard once they start blocking your standard attacks, or to guard against one of the many especially powerful red glowing attacks that many larger enemies and bosses like to use. Yakumo's Blood Raven form allows him to use a giant blood sword that extends and allows for some really cool looking attacks that hit a wide area.
Right.
While Ryu's Gleam form allows him to use the kinds of multi-hitting high-speed sword slashes that you would normally get from charging up an ultimate technique. But it's the small touches and improvements that really made me fall in love with Ninja Gaiden 4's combat. The way that guillotine throws now home in on enemies and can be used to knock airborne foes out of combat.
Bro. What is this instant dodge thing?
Guillotine throws now.
He did a UT. He's still recovering from animation. How are you dodging here? What? Oh, and by the way, the whatever's in the fourth Nimpo thing is back. So there is a fourth Nimpo. I don't know what it is though, but it's a fourth Nimpo. It's definitely Inferno at the top, and it's definitely Void at the bottom because I can see the ball. On the left looks like the Phoenix, like I said. On the right, it could be Windblades. That's all I assume. But going back to this dodge, how did you dodge, bro?
The way that guillotine throws now home in on it.
You could just maybe press the dodge button at any time? Is that how that works?
The way you're now more encouraged to use the environment to your advantage thanks to powered up flying swallows when you use them out of wall runs. How you can now use quick charge ultimate techniques right after landing from an Inzuna drop or flying swallow. Or the way
if you did a wall jump,
flying drone, leap off them, land a couple strikes.
If you did a wall jump, your heavy attack is slightly stronger. It's always been a thing.
That was so
Ninja Gaiden 2 just had less wall stuff, so you didn't have it too much.
Ultimately iterative upgrade to the classic style.
You had like a lot of wall running moves, but not a lot of straight wall moves.
About though was that Ninja Gaiden 4's boss battles, or at least the two that I've played so far, are excellent. Outside of a handful of exceptions, bosses have never really been a particularly strong suit of the series. But right out of the gate,
that's
the first
a
boss,
lie.
a large samurai-clad enforcer, was a satisfying test of my skills, reflexes, and pattern recognition. It was an intense one-on-one fight against an enemy that was reactive to what I was doing. He would...
Thank you. Reactive to what you're doing is very important. I like it. Say more.
Parry my attacks and follow up with a quick counterattack of his own. If I stood too far away, he would quickly close the distance and bring the aggression to me.
Yes.
Sneak in unblockable
reactive gameplay, bro, not pattern based.
An opportunity to stun him by quickly hitting him with an attack out of Blood Raven stance. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole fight, and even when I died, I would catch myself smiling at how much fun I was having. The second boss was a little less traditional, as after our first encounter she fled, leaving me to chase her through a distorted demon hellscape, but the actual battle itself was no less impressive. She wielded a giant umbrella that she would twirl around continuously, forcing me to be precise with my blocks whenever she got close. Another thing I appreciated about both these fights were the grapple points that I could quickly use to zip out of the way, and then flying swallow right back to keep up the aggression. My demo gave me a ton of skills unlocked right from the start. And while that was very much appreciated in the sense that I had Ryu and Yakumo's full set of tools available for me to play around with, it also did give me a good sense of what the progression would be like in the full game, and how much of that arsenal do Ryu and Yakumo start off with, which is something that I am very much looking forward to figuring out once I get my hands on the full version. At the very least, I can say that the training and tutorial tools in Ninja Gaiden 4 seem excellent. There's a full training mode where you can practice against customizable enemies. You're able to.
That didn't seem like too. It just seemed like.
For me to play around. While the levels
it seemed like he absorbed just one to do the UT.
Where you can practice and tutorial tools in Ninja Gaiden 4 seem
Yeah, I only saw one essence get absorbed into him to do the UT.
You're able to look back and get explainers with video on every technique that you've learned, full combo lists, the whole works. While the levels are linear, and I didn't happen to find any golden scarabs or crystal skulls, there are still things to do and find off the beaten path.
Touch the shop.
There are terminals throughout the level that come with submissions, such as defeat X number of enemies in Y location, or locate a number of creatures called Gordies that are
Unless he's not supposed to.
that you can capture by completing a quick button press minigame. By far the coolest thing to find, though, are the combat challenge rooms.
How's he sliding
You can
like that?
set your health handicap and get a reward based on how hard you make the challenge for yourself.
Okay, so important. They put back some sort of test of valor kind of thing where there's a challenge room. He said you could set your health, so I assume you can go into that and put it on a harder difficulty, and then the harder the difficulty is, the better the reward is from
I
it.
love the challenge rooms in the OG Ninja Gaiden 2, so I was super happy to see a form of them return. And the ability to essentially set your difficulty is a cool change that gives you an appropriate reward for the effort you put in. The currency you gain can be used to purchase items and abilities at the shop, but again, I didn't really have to engage with this all that.
He said what I was talking about. You can set your difficulty prior to like just doing anything.
And the ability to essentially set your difficulty is a cool change that gives you an appropriate reward for the effort you put in. The currency you gain can be used to purchase items and abilities at the shop, but again, I didn't really have to engage with this all that much in this preview build, since most of the things I needed were already provided to me.
Fair enough.
It's rare that you wait for a game for more than a decade, and it finally comes, and it seems to be everything you wanted and more. But so far, Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be that game. October 21st can't come fast enough. Do you have any questions about Ninja Gaiden 4? Let me know in the comments, as I'm planning to do a follow-up to go through as many of them as I can. Thanks for watching, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
It's a demo build though, so it's hard to say. It's hard to really, like, I can't really tell him that, like, yo, go back and do this, and it's like, it's not even in the demo build, so you got basic shuriken cancels, as you see. Okay. Stop. What is that? Hayabusa has a mode. Can you press it before the video is done? You're not gonna do it. Yeah. All right. So the first video, basically, what was confirmed is, you have Test of Valor. It sets your difficulty. You can choose to set the difficulty.
Ninja Gaiden.
Just the Xbox review. Test of Valor, you can set your difficulty. There's some sort of like instant dodge mechanic that I can't even explain. Like, I can't even explain it, bro.
Yang identik dengan Xbox, sering disebut-sebut dalam satu tarikan napas dengan IP utama Microsoft Halo. Kembali lagi, selama Developer Direct 2025, kami dikejutkan dengan serangan dua tahap yang akan membuat Ninja bangga. Kejutan pertama, jatuhnya bayangan untuk Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Oh, it's just a alternate language one. All right, so the last one is I think GameSpot did one, right?
What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and today we are taking an early look at Ninja Gaiden 4. So big thanks to the folks over at Xbox. They gave me access to a demo of the game via the Xbox Insider program, so I had a chance to just download it on my console and play, just chilling in bed at home. I had a chance to go through about 4 of the...
Well, I never heard of this. I never heard of it. Hold on. Y'all gotta share this with me. I never heard. Yo, wait a minute. Xbox Insider. Oh, I do remember that actually. Is this something you have to sign up for?
Chapters of the game. Play as both Yakumo as well as Ryu, a couple different bosses. Today we're going to be talking about it. So all the footage you're seeing is actually B-roll. We weren't allowed to capture our own footage, but we are allowed to share all of our thoughts from our time played. And let's jump in and talk about it. So right out the gate, I will say, Ninja Gaiden is so back. They completely nailed the feel of this game, and especially coming fresh off of playing the remasters. 2 was my favorite. We played all the way through 2 Black and had an absolute blast with it, and I felt right at home playing this. The combos that we know are there and they're the same. There's been some meaningful changes to combat, which we're also going to discuss, but the core identity of the game, kind of what you would expect if you are a fan of the franchise, is absolutely still there, and you're going to feel right at home when you jump in and play this. So let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. So the combat, as you're going to see in just a second, is exactly what you would expect. We still have the high-intensity, combo-based action. The kills are still incredibly brutal, blood all over the place. We do have some new tricks, though. So right now you're seeing some Yakumo gameplay, and occasionally you're seeing the weapon change. That's what's known as blood rating form. Basically, each of our weapons has an alternate mode that we can do, and we implement this via spending a gauge that builds up either over time or in combat. So as we're fighting, there's a white gauge down at the bottom left that you'll notice, and that's the blood rating gauge. And as that builds, we can then hold down the trigger to activate it. And if we're using the dual swords, it turns into like a giant odachi. And if we were using the rapier type weapon, it turns into this giant drill lance, which is my favorite so far. The thing is just absolutely brutal. So Blood Raven is pretty interesting because we can use it to weave in some crazy AoE attacks. If enemies are blocking, it's especially effective at breaking guard. When you're against boss type enemies, they have certain moves that are unblockable that you either have to, just avoid or time like a perfect dodge to avoid. And you can use these Blood Raven attacks to stagger them out of the moves. And the closer to the move being deployed that you time your attack, the longer the stagger window too. So there's a little bit of a timing game there where it's like, you can just immediately just spam through Blood Raven attacks and you'll stagger the boss for maybe like a half a second. But if you're going through regular attacks and then you time it to hit him right as he's about to come down with like a big swing, you're getting a much bigger punishment on the boss. So definitely a fair amount of skill expression is possible in this new system as well. When you were playing as Ryu, it's instead called Gleam, just a little bit different. So Yakumo is part of the Raven clan. Ryu obviously is not part of the Raven clan, so that's why it's called Blood Raven. And then Gleam, from what I did have a chance to play, is just like an empowered version of Ryu's skill set. So it kind of reminds me of just like the true Dragon Sword back from playing like 2 Black, how that like it's instead called Gleam, just a little bit different. So Yakumo is part of the Raven clan. Ryu obviously is not part of the Raven clan, so that's why it's called Blood Raven. And then Gleam, from what I did have a chance to play, is just like an empowered version of Ryu's skill set. So it kind of reminds me of just like the true Dragon Sword back from playing like 2 Black, how that like expands out in terms of how your move set, just how flashy it is and whatnot. Very similar to that. On top of that, defensive options have also been improved. We have perfect blocks now, and we can actually time them to get a bit of a parry, kind of like Sekiro. And what I think is interesting is when I think about parrying attacks, whether it's Sekiro or Stellar Blade or whatever the case is, usually there's a bit of a build-up, a bit of a big wind-up on boss attacks. The boss is like, I'm gonna swing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna parry.
I hate that.
And it's never felt bad, but that is very much a thing in parry-centric gameplay, and I want to be explicit in stating that that's not the case here. We do have the perfect block, which basically functions as a parry, and we can do a follow-up attack out of it, but it is not like Sekiro where, the boss is going to do this big wind-up. Like, the boss is just going to attack, but if you are skilled enough to time and hit those parries, you're going to be able to just, pump out big fat counters on the boss. It is very much skill based in terms of.
I know there's no sound stealth. You can just do it.
It works a little bit different from instead of how stuff worked in the previous game. You can see that circle that has like a bright white circle around it. And you actually see it in just a little bit in the Ryu gameplay here. But when we pop our ultimate, essentially our Gleam attacks or our Blood Raven attacks, they all become super empowered to the point where we can effectively instantly obliterate any weaker enemy. So you pop this up, you're going to get some really cool kills. And like I said, just to get in a little bit here, but it basically allows you to just wreak absolute havoc against whatever you're fighting. Just tossing out instant kills, killing 3-4 enemies at the same time. Very bloodbath type feeling. It feels great to execute. But yeah, so we have that. We now have the perfect blocks, which we can implement. We have perfect dodges, which we get to follow up attacks out. One of my favorite things to do is doing a perfect block into Blood Raven. Like, out of your perfect block, there's follow-ups, but you can go perfect block and then hold Blood Raven, and you'll do like an empowered Blood Raven attack that usually has AoE properties, knocking a bunch of enemies back. And the thing I just love is, like, you know, if you're going into this playing it like it's Ninja
Bro, why
Gaiden
is he?
2, you're gonna.
Am I tripping, or like is he moving so fast? Like to a point where like it just felt like his dodge speed is like so crazy. Like,
I just
look
love
at
it.
this.
Like, you know, if you're going,
You go
into
from
this
here,
playing it like it's
you did blind swallow,
Ninja Gaiden 2.
dodge,
You're
and
gonna
then
feel
he's
right
on the other side. Like it's like the camera just is going like this.
And then when you decide to work in the extra stuff, when you're working in Blood Raven, when you're working in the ultimate, it just elevates what is already a very tight and good experience. And I think the defensive capabilities is probably my biggest thing, because especially after playing through 2 recently, you know, one thing that I felt I was missing was like, man, I really wish we had more defensive capabilities besides doing those spot dodges. And now we have that, which is really nice to see. So yeah, combat is exactly what you would expect. On top of that, some other nice changes now I noticed. And I was just playing through the game on normal. Difficulty is definitely there. You're going to see some boss fights towards the end half of this video in about, let's see, like 3 minutes from now. And with those boss fights, I mean, the one boss at least, he took me 5-6 attempts on normal. And given, you know, I wasn't locked in gamer mode, I was just chilling in
That's
bed
normal,
playing.
bro.
I wasn't, you know, sitting at my computer, leaning forward, focusing on hitting on my perfect dodges. But still, I consider myself a decently skilled player when it comes to games like this. And for a boss to take me more than 2 attempts, I'm like,
I'm not even gonna ask what that is.
This is some good difficulty. So right here, you're getting a chance to see the ultimate system. You can see how he just slaughtered that stuff.
I figured that. Yep.
Taking a quick look at the shop, that's another thing that's been overhauled. Instead of just going in and buying basic stuff, we obviously are able to spend our ninja coins to get various consumables that we can use in combat, whether it's, you know, health or attack buff or defensive buff or res items. But on top of that, we have little mini quests that we
So
can
it's
pick up,
more for him.
and they're very much the kind of quests that are just like, you know, kill 30 of this enemy, find X amount of chests in an area. So they're like side quests that are going to reward you for just playing through the game and, you know, just basically going for like trying to like a completionist playstyle. If you're trying to do everything that you have available to you, you're just getting rewarded with extra ninja coins that you can then spend on consumables. So now we're getting a chance to look at the boss, and what I really want to point out here is everything you're seeing is like a timed input he's doing. The perfect dodges, the follow-up attacks. You'll see perfect dodge into a quick, wasn't a full perfect dodge follow-up. There was a perfect block, into a follow-up combo, going into the obliterate, the ultimate attack. And we do still have you know, the instant charge, where if there's an orb on the ground, you can pick that up to like instantly charge your finisher to go up to your level 1 or level 2, depending on the amount of wounds or how long you're charging it. Like I said, everything feels very much right at home if you are a fan of this franchise. God, I love the spear. The lance, excuse me, but it's just so visceral, especially when you're fighting like lesser enemies, dude. You like slam them on the ground and you're just drilling through them. So right there, that was a perfect block follow-up attack. You can see trying to
Run it back. Run it back.
the lance, excuse me, but it's just so visceral, especially when you're fighting like lesser enemies, dude. You like slam them on the ground and you're just drilling through them.
Right there.
So right there, that was a perfect block follow-up attack.
See, I feel like though the identity
You can see
though
perfect
is a
block, that
little
charge
bit
attack
distorted.
there, you weren't able to.
Just because, like, you're gonna have people who are just like, they just become gods of parrying, and it may be myself too. I claim that too. Like, to the point though where like
You know, that was a
in order
slight
for you to challenge yourself, you have to like do like I'm gonna do this boss fight without parrying or something like that,
so,
just
you
to
know,
make it
you
feel
don't just
hard.
wanna,
Because
like,
if you're
hold
too
down Blood Raven
perfect with
and
parrying,
stand. You
like
need
it can
to
never beat you.
how you're using it to try and break.
Oh, that was the Platinum Games
Give
hitbox.
yourself
I saw that.
pump advantage. Quick poke right to the PP. And then we got the second boss we are also going to give you a chance to look at here. But like I said, this is all B-roll footage, so like all the early footage you're going to see of this that's coming out today. Basically going to be the same stuff you're seeing here.
I don't want to spoil too much on seeing these bosses because I actually want to just, you know, learn them myself.
Oh, another thing to talk about, you actually have a like a grappling hook ninja tool. I know quite a few fights where I could use it to basically grapple up like onto a UAV that's up in the air to avoid certain ground-based attacks. That was another cool inclusion. And we obviously use it during the traversal type sections. Like
My question though to that is it required?
So nice little addition there. Now, like I said, this is all very early stuff in the game, so I'm sure there's you know, more weapons, more combat options. I didn't have a chance to mess with Nimbo at all. It wasn't in the game right now, so I don't know what the state of magic is or how it works. But I mean, core combat is so good. I think the boss fights are probably one of the things that I think I saw the biggest improvement. Like, Nimbo isn't it? I could not figure out how to use it. I didn't see the button commands.
Forgive me, I was just searching on Xbox just to see if
Just in terms of the incoming
If there's some
incoming and outgoing action, I'm going to say this
stuff
looks like
that will let me play this demo.
pretty comparable with what I experienced when I was fighting this boss. But the game does start, there's easy, normal, hard, and then like true major difficulty. So you know, those that are looking for the extreme challenge will still be able to get it. Those that want a more casual experience will still get it. I think I mentioned it, but as you die, like the main, your ninja master will just like, show up before boss fights and be like, here's some items, take these, you're struggling. So you know, even people that are really struggling are going to have a chance to get through the game, which is nice. So, either way, from what I got a chance to play, this is definitely shaping up to look like it is going to be one hell of a game when it comes out.
Okay. And there's one more by my guy, what's this one? I hope. Montismel. He's the guy that tries to like usually 100% everything possible in the game.
What's
So
going on, everybody?
I take his word for things
reviewing an
before
early preview of Ninja
other
Gaiden
reviews. So
4,
let's check it
the
out.
latest installment and return to the Ninja Gaiden franchise that brings, of course, some interesting changes, some classic, I would say, mostly fair combat, certainly known for being on the challenging side. But before we dive into all that, a few things to get out of the way here at the beginning. I am able to bring you this preview because a couple of weeks ago, Xbox, who is publishing the game, reached out and asked if I was interested in taking part in a remote preview, which obviously I accepted. It's important to note, however, that there was no recording allowed during this preview, meaning that the footage you are seeing is B-roll provided by them, and not my actual gameplay.
Oh,
Though, to
okay.
be fair, they're
Same.
probably
They
a
did the
little better
same
at this
too.
than I was.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what the reason for limiting the capture was. Could be any number of reasons, really, but just important to note that. With that said, what I had access to was some of the early game experience. It was curated, meaning that it was not exactly one for one with what the release will be, but it was roughly like 1 to 2 hours worth of the beginning portions of the game. So you get a pretty good idea of what's going on, how to tackle it, things like that. And straight away, a few things to mention. Ninja Gaiden 4, like all the Ninja Gaiden games, has a certain reputation for being fairly difficult. And so you may well be interested in knowing that there are actually difficulty options, basically easy, normal, hard, and very hard, and that should at least a little bit allow you to customize the exact experience you're looking for based on how comfortable you wind up feeling with the controls. Now, another thing I wanted to mention here is that easy mode in particular has, I guess you could call it stages to it. There's just the sort of base easy difficulty, but then you can also go into the options there and enable things like auto dodge and auto guard if you're looking
Maybe that's
to
what that
experience
was.
the game without necessarily a
Okay.
hardcore challenge. And that's probably worth mentioning because this game is
But even though there is an auto dodge mechanic, right? You could do that instant dodge thing that they were doing, like you could do that manually as well, right? Because I'm telling you, it just seemed super cheap.
is very fast-paced, I would say. Most of combat is very quick, and to be honest, I think it might simply require a level of reflexes that some people just may not be in possession of. Keeping it moving, though, this particular game mostly sees us in the role of a new generation
Like
of
projectiles,
ninja,
as
which
in
is
like
Yakumo, a member of the Raven clan on a mission.
like you mean like the explosive shuriken and the windmill shuriken, stuff like that, because he does have like base shurikens,
to
but
destroy the Dark
I get what you're
Dragon
talking
by
about.
whatever means they can manage.
If that's what you're referring to.
The main guy from all of the other games is in the game as at least playable in the challenge modes, which are new here. Pretty straightforward, though, allowing you to, of course, tackle various trials or just replay boss fights on various difficulties with even extra modifiers and the like, if you're looking to really push yourself. Ryu also has a role in the story, but from this limited preview, I'm actually not entirely sure what his role will wind up being in totality, but figured I'd throw that in as a mention here. Talking a little bit about the story, though, it does not appear to me that it be wildly important you have played the previous games. I think this is probably going to be a fine enough place to jump in if you are looking to do so. In this particular title, we are met with a version of Tokyo that has frankly seen better days. After previously, Ryu Hayabusa had stopped the Dark Dragon, one of the divine gods, from rampaging around the world, and while they were able to stop and seal away this being, what they were unable to do was anything about its decaying husk. This husk is causing what they are calling blackened rain to fall over the city of Tokyo, which is letting in all sorts of problems, a miasma that is encouraging demons and the like to take part in the battle for the city. So things have gone better, frankly. And in the wake of this, the Divine Dragon Order has taken to just kind of seizing the city and trying to install some sort of order in what is left. And our new protagonist, Yakumo, is at the very heart of all of this back and forth. Now, that's pretty much all I know about the story, so it's really all I could say. But otherwise, the gameplay itself is, of course, very, very action-oriented. It is a third-person action game, after all. And so much of what you're going to do is run through various levels, and while you can encounter things like a chest and whatnot, which will give you various, like healing items, that kind of thing, which can be used in combat, it's, for the most part, a pretty straightforward jaunt through various combat arenas, but there are some things in between those. For instance, there's a pretty big emphasis on movement here.
The button layout is changeable. It usually is, though. I think Sigma 2 allows you to change it, so I don't see no reason why this one shouldn't.
And that does play a role in combat as well, as it is possible to use some of this movement there in order to quickly traverse places to get up to, say, ranged enemies, or simply get out of the way of more sweeping melee characters, that kind of thing. And while we'll talk more in depth about combat in just a moment, another thing to keep in mind, however, is that at the various sort of shrines you can find, which serve as the Raven Clan checkpoints, you can accept various side missions. These are basically rewards for either engaging combat within certain parameters or exploring the levels and finding little extra stuff like hidden items that you can turn in, which is how you're going to get a lot of gold in addition to defeating enemies, or ninja coin as it's called, and then you can spend those at the shrines to buy various items to get you through the game's various levels. In addition to those shrines, another thing you can spend this on is Tyran. So occasionally you'll run into these ravens, which will summon in the sort of Raven Clan instructor, who you can buy and practice abilities from to sort of customize your exact loadout and what you want to do. So there is some progression in that sense as you'll unlock more and more of like the move sets and that kind of thing. Now when it comes to combat itself, obviously a lot going on here, but to run you through some of the basics that I encountered, you basically got by default in your base form a light, heavy, and ranged attack via shurikens. Laying into regular enemies will eventually dismember them, and at that point, if you hit a heavy attack, it will execute them, which is a great way of very quickly dispatching enemies and getting through them. And then there's also a pretty standard block and dodge. You do have to be careful as you are a ninja, and so you can't just stand there and block forever. Eventually your guard will break and you'll be left defenseless for a moment, and so blocking and dodging is usually the way to go if you're being hit with an onslaught. Perfectly dodging out of the way or dodging exactly in the right direction will enable maneuvers for you to get behind enemies and continue a pretty constant stream of aggression. There's also your Blood Raven form, though. These are basically empowered light and heavy attacks that under normal circumstances cannot be blocked, which makes them useful for chewing through bigger enemies. What's more, big charged up enemy attacks that are usually telegraphed by like a red AoE can be interrupted with Blood Raven attacks, which will then leave that enemy defenseless and obviously prone to a bunch of moves on your end. You do also get other weapons to utilize as well. I didn't get a chance to mess around with too many of those, but I do know that there are a few different kinds available, just so you're aware. Now, the other stuff I wanted to mention was the sort of ultimate charge attack as well as the berserk mode. So ultimate allows you to basically charge up and unleash an attack that is going to be devastating if you can manage to charge it up.
It was looking weird to me. Like,
sort of
it's like
your attempt to charge it.
It's a dodge, and then there's like there's your regular slide dodge, but then there's like a perfect dodge too, like a dodge that you do on like hit. It's kind of weird.
Empowers your Blood Raven abilities, allowing them to potentially even just instant kill certain types of enemies. So that's kind of the basics of what the system is about, but in terms of like feel, I've got to say that it is incredibly responsive. It actually does feel really good to just run around.
Oh, so you do have level 2 UTs. When I saw Yakumo do it, I only saw one.
Exactly when an enemy is going to
it only showed like level 2.
Moment-to-moment feedback.
Oh, what was that?
Feedback of what you're doing is.
Did he just throw the sword? Did I see that
there are
correctly?
some things you kind of have to get used to, like
Okay,
exactly
flip.
when an enemy
Oh no, that's something that he activated. It like bombarded an enemy.
is going to counterattack, and the sort of moment-to-moment feedback.
Yeah, I was taking a look at that in the first video
now,
too.
Most of the time in combat, when you defeat enemies, they
Oh, that's supposed to be the ghost fish, but like revamped.
Called blood essence, which can restore some of your health. It's pretty minimal in terms of like the amount of health you will lose to getting attacked, especially if you get hit in the back. But it does offer a way outside of just healing items to recover health and then kind of keep going without healing items. Now, the catch there is blood essence can also be used to help you charge up your ultimate, so there is a little bit of interplay in how you actually use it there. Now, as a couple of points of notes before I move to wrap this up after all of
What the heck was that? Why did the enemy move that fast?
There's a sort of boss at the end of the preview known as a formidable enemy, and something I noticed with this guy is that his big wind-up charge attack that you're supposed to hit with the Blood Raven attack to interrupt wasn't so much a big charge attack as a nearly instantaneous attack. Like the moment from the telegraph to you seeing it to it hitting you is like like a split second. And I think the key there
That's
is
good.
that if you are in the middle
like
of
that.
an attack and trying to be a little aggressive yourself, then you're going to get punished by not being able to react to that telegraph quickly enough. And while this boss is not so difficult as for this to be like run ending or anything, it's mostly just kind of annoying in the moment. I will say that I hope that that is not a mechanic that a lot of the bosses lean into later, because I didn't love that personally, but I don't really think it's a big deal either. The other thing I wanted to mention is that
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it as a mechanic.
The camera leaves a bit to be desired. There were times where I was getting attacked by enemies from like off screen, or in some arenas there are ranged enemies like up and just completely out of your field of vision that will attack you with things like rockets and stuff. And in many cases I was not even aware of those enemies until they were already shooting at me, because they were so far like out of the bounds of vision of the combat arena and the camera as a result that I found myself consistently getting hit in the back by stuff like that, and it's the kind of thing that I think if just the camera was able to give you a better sort of snapshot of the arena that you find yourself.
It looked like he'd be sliding across the floor sometimes, and it looks like the hit is trying to track the enemy, but it doesn't hit them correctly.
All in all, though, for the most part, I enjoyed this preview of Ninja Gaiden 4, and I am looking forward to its release in October. I think it's October 20th, I believe. I will definitely
see that, like how he did that, like slide, like it looked, bro. It just looked like he'd be teleporting forward.
October 20th, I believe. I will definitely be
This
checking
madness.
it out. I have no idea if I will be able to 100% it, to be honest, but I'm certainly going to give it the old college try. As for today's video, though, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, by all means, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this one down in the comment section below. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.
Alrighty. I thought there was one more. There should have been one more. There was supposed to be a GameSpot preview. Let me just see if I can find it really quick.
And
GameSpot.
And more often than not.
Yeah, I think it was this one. Oh, we did see it. We did see it. I think. Oh, no. Didn't see it. Oh, yes, we did. What? This is the first one. Right? That's not what I saw.
New Ninja Gaiden. Since its announcement earlier.
I see. She had the how you call it? She had a translation audio over it. I can't get the translation audio, so let me see if I get it. Hold on. Give me a second. It may not happen, but let me try this. It would be this.
Earlier this year, Ninja Gaiden 4 has seemingly met just as much skepticism as
expected. Like this. Maybe this will work. Hold on. I just wanted to see what they had to say about it too. Okay, hold on. I think I got it.
But with Team Ninja and Platinum Games collaborating on its development and Microsoft publishing, it's worth questioning if the series' identity is at stake. After all, there's no denying that some of what makes Ninja Gaiden such a beloved series are the little quirks we overlook out of affection.
What do you mean?
More often than not, these are the very same friction-inducing qualities that are promptly removed
target
when a
an enemy,
series is
like when you
remade
attack,
or
like
rebooted.
how
At the
far
same
it can,
time, does
it
opting to
will
retain
swing you
each
to
and
be able to
every
hit
one
the
of
enemy.
these qualities prevent the game from evolving or becoming an exciting modern entry point? After spending around 4 hours with Ninja Gaiden 4 and speaking with the team behind it at Platinum Games' Tokyo office, I've come to a preliminary conclusion. Ninja Gaiden 4 is whatever style of Ninja Gaiden you want it to be.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate, bro. And I speak for all of them. Ninja Gaiden 1, 2,
More so
and
than
3.
previous
Like,
entries in the series, Ninja Gaiden 4 emphasizes flexibility. If you're a Ninja Gaiden veteran who loathes the idea of executing perfect dodges, locking onto enemies, and watching your karma, the game's scoring system that rewards players for executing combos, rack up in the top left corner, you can either ignore or remove all of it. At the same time,
Yeah, but
these
it's a
options
part of
and
your
impressively
currency.
robust accessibility menu
So
and
it
game's
wants you to do
beginner-friendly
different
hero
stuff.
mode, which auto-blocks most incoming damage, make the game extremely approachable for new audiences and those who might have been turned off by the series' brutal reputation.
'Cause they
That
whack
said,
and
you'd
they
be
weak.
wrong to dismiss Ninja Gaiden 4 itself as easy. Much like previous titles, Master Ninja Mode is brutal, with higher difficulties bringing increased enemy intelligence and toughness, as well as more challenging enemy staging. However,
Okay.
the existence
Hold on.
of one
Sorry.
mode of play doesn't negate the existence of the other, and thus Ninja Gaiden 4 feels wonderfully malleable. In a way, this design choice reflects a larger theme in Ninja Gaiden 4, the merging of the old and the new. Ninja Gaiden 4 makes a very conscious effort to respect longtime fans, former
pause button
protagonist
here.
Ryu
Hold on
Hayabusa.
a second. I just wanted to reiterate. I think that was an incorrect statement because everybody who had the demo said that they could select the difficulty at the beginning before they started to play. So I don't know if like she's saying like Master Ninja like is the way that it's supposed to be, where the enemies are reactive and do different things the way that I would love it to be. But like, this is a person that just had the demo. Like, there's no way I feel like you would know that. Like you yourself would have to be a Ninja Gaiden player, and if you're a Ninja Gaiden player like that, you wouldn't have this demo like that. Like this is an insider demo. So I highly doubt that. I gotta see that for myself.
And Team Ninja's original vision. At the same time, the introduction of Platinum Games as a co-developer, new protagonist Yakumo, and a vastly expanded toolkit highlight the fact that this is, in fact, a reinvention. And though this has always been the case with the Ninja Gaiden series, even 4's setting, which sees cyberpunk elements and traditional Japanese qualities come together to form a moody cyber ninja dystopia, exemplifies this dynamic. Yet despite Ninja Gaiden being known for its brutality, this collision isn't violent. Instead, all these different components complement each other and ultimately highlight what each aspect brings to the game. This dynamic is perhaps most obvious when switching between the game's main characters,
Or maybe that
Yakumo
it's
and
just a
Ryu.
thing like that
During
on
this
air
preview, I
anyways.
finally got the chance to see how a slightly older Ryu controls. While he and Yakumo are similar mechanically and can even execute some of the same moves, there are clear distinctions in how they control. Yakumo feels lighter, faster, and dare I say a bit edgier thanks to his Blood Raven form and ability to enter a berserk state. Ryu, on the other hand, packs a harder punch, feels more professional and precise, and comes with some of his classic ninpo arts in lieu of a new winged form, adding to the sense that he truly is a master ninja.
Hold on.
Arts in lieu of a new winged form.
I think that's what they won't show me. They probably banned the person from doing that. But if you can see right there, if you press L3 and R3, he has some sort of new form thing. I think that's what they're talking about. But what I think it does is that it lets him use his enhanced abilities endlessly for a certain amount of time. But I actually want to see it.
Adding to the sense that
I
he
hope they show
truly
it.
is a master ninja at this point. Another major difference between Yakumo and Ryu that reinforces these design principles is the fact that while Ryu sticks to his trusty blade, Yakumo has a handful of weapons to choose from, with some being more experimental than others. We were introduced to Yakumo's drill weapon, which allows him to plunge into enemies and, well, drill. It's silly, satisfying, and like I said, he's certainly the edgier of the two, so it tracks. Another reason why Yakumo has multiple weapons, however, is simply because he is Ninja Gaiden 4's primary protagonist, so don't expect the same level of treats
there's no way, like, look at how fast the camera move here.
Ninja Gaiden 4's primary protagonist,
stage, then it's so boom. Like, he was at one enemy, and then he was at another enemy in the next frame.
The same level of treatment or number of chapters for both characters. That said, after you beat the game, you will be able to play through all chapters with either character.
Okay.
Fortunately, during my preview, Platinum took the liberty of unlocking the game's chapter challenge mode, meaning I got to take both Yakumo and Ryu through the handful of included chapters, challenges, and boss fights. Doing so further drove home the differences between Yakumo and Ryu. As with Ryu, I noticed that I completed objectives more quickly, but...
So let me just say right there, if that's the case, if you could play through every stage as both characters, then there's the possibility of like some sort of mission mode, horde mode, co-op kind of thing is still there, just because it doesn't lock you into having certain enemies against certain bosses. Another thing that I just find weird is, like, if you could just play the game through with either character, then why do like a split story mode kind of thing? Why not just have somebody play the story mode and they could just pick this character from the start, and then at any time they could just switch to the other character? I feel like that would make more sense than just doing like, oh, stage 1, 2, and 3 is Yakumo, stage 4 and 5 is Hayabusa, and stage 6 and 7 is Yakumo again. Like, you know what I mean? If you could just play everything.
With Yakumo, I had more combo building fun. Both characters felt equally viable and fun to use, hopefully meaning that players won't dread playing through chapters that are initially bound to a certain character.
Right. Oh God, ads. 1 second. See if I can. Go back. Okay, cool. So why can't I click on it? Like, what's going on? Why is it doing that? Hold on, y'all. The thing is like really like cursing me right now. Oh, not that.
Experimental than others. We were introduced to Yakumo's drill weapon, which allows him to
No, he's past that, right?
As with Ryu, I noticed that I had to face off against two of Ninja Gaiden 4's first bosses, a lightning sword-wielding commander and the Kitsune courtesan. Though neither one was abnormally brutal, both offered up the same vital lesson. Unless you're playing on hero mode, you cannot get through this game if you are just button mashing. Whereas the fights your ninjas stumble into can be overwhelming thanks to the sheer number of strong and intuitive enemies tossed your way, these bosses are overwhelmingly powerful.
It could be a lot.
And thus
It don't look like a lot
pay
on
attention, learn attack patterns, and intentionally move about the arena while utilizing my environment.
Yeah, you gotta attack and block at the same time.
I had a great time with both of these enemies.
Just like the
Each felt
sixth time I'm
appropriately
seeing it,
challenging
and
on
you can
normal
dodge
difficulty
too.
and were immensely satisfying to take down. That said, traversing my environment while doing so was not always as enjoyable. Due to Ninja Gaiden 4's arena sizes, I frequently found myself a bit annoyed as I tried to grapple to safety, only to be just out of reach of one of the designated grappling areas. Granted, some of this could be attributed to user error, and larger arenas are necessary considering Platinum naturally adds some of its iconic bullet hell style combat moments to the game. particularly in
Oh,
the
you got one of
Kitsune
these
Corzon
screen dodge?
fight.
Yeah,
That
that's
said,
fire.
it still felt a bit stilted to me and made traversal feel slightly less fluid. The locations I explored in Ninja Gaiden 4 didn't vary too much from one another visually. All of them were set in a rain-drenched dystopian Tokyo and lean into cyberpunk visuals, complete with shadows, grime, and neon lights. That said, and although I would have loved to see variation in environments to help break things up a bit, those included in the preview were striking and featured plenty of cinematic imagery and interesting set pieces,
Well, you do gotta jump
such
over
as
that.
the
I
gargantuan
wouldn't have done
floating
it. I
dragon
would've just
skeleton
died.
that ensnares the city. I was ultimately reassured by both the introduction of traditional Japanese elements as the story unfolds and the game's directors that not all of Ninja Gaiden 4 will take place in Tokyo's gritty underbelly. According to Hirayama, Yakumo and Ryu will get the chance to dismember their enemies in more natural environments too.
We
That
saw
being
there
the
was a
case, I'm
forest stage.
certainly excited to see more of Ninja Gaiden 4's Tokyo. But what I'm most anticipating about its full release is something the Ninja Gaiden series isn't typically praised for: its story and characters. It's still early days, but I am intrigued by the story Ninja Gaiden 4 is setting up. Though nothing of particular interest happens in the game's first chapter, which it should be noted is the same one that was revealed during this year's Summer Game Fest. Ninja Gaiden's prologue establishes several fun relationship dynamics. For starters, Yakumo is a member of the Raven Clan, a rival clan to Ryu's Hayabusa clan. Things are further complicated
This game looked
when
like
we
it takes
discover
place in
that
2050.
in the 7 years since Ryu essentially failed to completely kill the dragon whose corpse hangs over Tokyo and causes the city's blighted reign, he has since aligned himself with the Divine Dragon Order, the Raven Clan's sworn enemy. As such, when Ryu and Yakumo finally meet, it seems likely it will be his enemy.
You're not about to tell me there's a Divine Dragon Order and none of these guys showed up in the first Ninja Gaiden when clearly Doku came in, bodied his whole village, took the Dark Dragon Blade, and then the maiden who's responsible for the True Dragon Sword activating, she died too. Don't tell me there's a Ninja Tribunal. Get out my face.
The prologue also introduces us to Ninja Gaiden 4's main heroine,
She gonna
the
be in
Dragon
Dead or
Priestess
Alive,
Sayori.
clearly.
It took me all of one scene to completely adore her and the dynamic she has with Yakumo. Whereas Yakumo is
I wouldn't be
quiet,
surprised if
edgy,
that other
and
guy is the
serious,
villain.
Sayori is filled with confidence, charm, and humor, making their forced pairing excruciating for him, even if she is exceptionally pretty. On the surface, their relationship feels a lot like Cloud and Aerith's from Final Fantasy VII, so naturally, I'm eager to see where things go. Fortunately for me and all of you extremely patient Ninja Gaiden fans, we won't be waiting much longer to see how things play out. Ninja Gaiden 4 is scheduled to release on October 21st and will be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. If you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, Ninja Gaiden 4 will also be available to play at no additional cost on day one.
Sure. All right. So what did we learn? A couple of things, actually. All right. I'll make a separate video. Let me just jot this down real quick so I can remember what we learned. NG4. All right. So I know what you're talking about. My favorite track from the original was the one that plays when you face Marbus the first time. Not the Sigma version, the original version. I think it plays also when you fight Alma in the first version too. It'd be like dum. I love that song. All right. So what did we learn? We learned Ryu has 4 Ninpos. Okay. He for sure has Inferno and Void. Okay. The other 2, again, I can't really see it, but it looked like he has the Phoenix Ninpo from Ninja Gaiden 2. It's supposed to be like the fire wheels from the first game, but it's the little Phoenix floating over. And then there was one on the right that I can't say for sure that's Wind Blades, because it looked. Let me go back. It looked like thunder. Thundercats. Oh, it looked like thunder, so it could be a thunder move. Like they thought they brought that back. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, it's right there. That little clip in the bottom left. If you could see, can I zoom? I never figure out how to zoom in on this thing. Like it's just like it don't work. I be like control plus, and it don't let me zoom. But right? No. The void nimpo is at the bottom. I see that there. It's right there. Like I for sure see that. So I have the Inferno and the Void Nimpo. I know that's there. The one on the left is a picture of a phoenix or a bird, some sort of bird. So I assume that's the Phoenix Jutsu. The one on the right, I assume it's supposed to be wind blades, but it don't. Like the icon doesn't look like it's wind blades. It looks like kind of like a electric kind of symbol. I mean, we just guessing at this point because it could be anything. They probably just didn't allow. I'll ask my guy that played the game to see if he saw what it was. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. I couldn't tell you. But that's one thing. Yes, I'm gonna just put question mark at the end. Okay, so Ryu has 4 nimpos. There's an easy dodge, and easy block mechanic if you're playing on like super easy, which you're a scrub. If you ever play on super easy, don't ever talk to me in your life. There is some sort of hold on. You can block while sorry, I'm gonna have this play in the background just so if you guys catch anything that I didn't, feel free to catch it. But you can block while attacking, which is kind of insane. You can block while attacking. Perfect block though, not regular block. You perfect block while attacking. You can also dodge while in animation, which I still don't understand. Like, let me put it. Still don't understand. Literally, that's what I put there. I'm gonna make another video probably tomorrow about this if I don't make it tonight. What else we saw? You think it's wind blades? I still put question, but it's wind blades. We gonna put wind blades or new Nimpo. It could be returning Nimpo. If it's Azuna again, that'd be cool. Like bring stuff back. I'm all good for that. You could play as any character. Notice they said chapter challenge. That's very important. Any character in any stage after completing the game, and it unlocks chapter challenge, not new game plus. That is different. I hope that they do not limit it like how they did in Sigma, where like you know how in Sigma 2 they made it so that when you play chapter challenge, you only get all of the weapons and upgrades up to that chapter. Whereas the original Ninja Gaiden 2, you get everything. You get all your upgrades possible on any chapter. I hope they don't limit that, but it's only chapter challenge. There's no new game plus. Hayabusa has what is it? What was it called? It was called it was Falcon mode, right? And it's funny, I said it too. It started with a G. I forget the name. Hayabusa has some Falcon mode. We don't exactly know what it does. It enhances his attacks, but you could do that normally. It's just there's a transformation that you could do as well. Oh, I agree, bro. I absolutely agree on that statement. It should have been a standalone game. It should have been called, I don't know, Ninja Gaiden Return to the Dark Dragon or something like that. Gleaming mode, yes. Gleaming mode. Okay. So his advanced attacks is called Gleaming. Advanced attacks is called Gleaming, but there's a Gleaming mode that allows you to transform Hayabusa for a minute, and it makes you do something in comparison to those attacks. I just assume that it's just a power-up form that allows him to do all of the Gleaming mode attacks until the meter runs out or something like that. Nimpo uses meter on the left. Uses meter. Something else that wasn't like emphasized on that the lady was talking about is that you can use like the environment to move and dodge attacks. However, it didn't explain to us how much of that is required. True Dragon Sword. The True Gleaming Blade. What else we figured out? Oh, there's no bow, there's no projectiles. Let's just say there's no projectiles other than shuriken. However, we don't know if the projectiles can be powered up in Gleaming mode. That's something we don't know. Can projectiles be powered up in Gleaming mode? Anything else I left out? Oh, no, I wrote it already. That dodge while in animation, bro, that's game breaking to me. Like, the man's was clearly like he was mid combo and the enemy was just like, nah. let me find this clip. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this clip again, because that was crazy. I have to see that again. I think it's this one. It's the IGN one, I believe. Yeah. I will say something here. The sound effects is still jarring to me, but maybe I'm wrong in saying that it sounds like Hayabusa's sword cuts, like they sound slightly different than Yakumo's. Or maybe not exactly. Maybe I'm just tripping. His sound more like cuts, where Yakumo sound more like you're being like crushed. You know what I mean?
Take you on a quick journey back to the past for a second. It's the early 2000s.
Me. Fast forward a little bit, because I want to see when he does this move. He's playing Yakumo, and here you go. Right.
Characters do have
this right here. He knocks him in the air, and then you clearly are not vulnerable. I mean, you could have, my fault. You clearly are vulnerable. He's going to do his follow-up attack. Auto dodge out of that is cracked. That right there is cracked. I don't know what that is. The thing about it though is that it doesn't use meter. It doesn't use his health. It doesn't use meter. Nothing. Like, I hope that whatever this mechanic is that he just did is something that you can only do on like easy mode, because it's insane. That right there is insane. I was like, bro, what? Play it again. Because it still get me, because it's like wow, boom, dodge, weave, like Ultra Instinct while you're getting hurt is insane.
A lot of the same tricks with both characters, from Mizuna drops, Team Ninja's Ninja Gaiden through and through, regardless of whether you're playing as Ryu Hayabusa.
I'm gonna mute the guy talking just because it's just I was just focused on it. But oh man, like that move, whatever that is just broke. It's just like it's broken. Oh, and he was saying also too, bosses or the I think it was the lady. No, it was him. He was talking about bosses can they boss has like a phase where you do like a clash attack, like a clash phase where when the boss does an attack, you as Yakumo you go to Raven mode and you do an attack back at the same time, and it's kind of like how Devil May Cry 4 had the Nero phases where at a certain point you do like you could do like a special grab attack. It's like that. And then she said Master Ninja has variety, but I don't agree with this statement until I've played it. There's no projectile. Oh, there's no obviously unless somebody is not allowed to talk about it. There's only the true dragon sword. And yeah, that move just looks so cheap, bro. Like like it says gonna run through my brain because Hayabusa did it before in one of the earlier trailers that they were showing, and we was like, oh, whatever that is, like gotta use meter, but clearly it don't use meter, and that is like why, just why? No meter, you're out your mind. um. What else? Yeah, I mean, Yakumo's gameplay looks straightforward. We saw. Oh, there's Test of Valor, Test of Valor, or like something equivalent, bro. But the point is though, they shouldn't have to have that as DLC. That's nonsense, bro. Like every time they do that, it's just like saying like, oh well, we held the game back just to try and get some more money for DLC. It is like, bro, come on, dog. Like, I don't gotta do that. Test of Valor, you can choose your difficulty. You could choose your difficulty upon entering, and bigger rewards for harder difficulty. The one guy that was playing though, he said he didn't find any of the like the collectible thing. Like, there's a new thing that's supposed to be like the scarabs and the crystal skulls. He said he didn't find any of that, so maybe their build just like it didn't have it in the game. Um, you would think, right? You would think it was like that. He wasn't, but you would think though, because everybody knows like the game was they said it was 85% done before they revealed it. So you had from the beginning of February till October in release to do all that stuff. So anything that the fans had asked for, they could have put in the game, but they just chose not to do it. I don't know why, but Team Ninja, bro, they be confusing me. They be confusing me, man. Um, anything else I'm missing? I guess I'm gonna leave it at that for a while. For now, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. So just a couple of things. Nimpo, Hayabusa, counter. Oh, there's that. Well, we already know it's in the game. There's a hard parry where like if you do a parry, you could do the parry into his Raven mode, or in Hayabusa's instance his Gleaming mode, right as you perfect parry, and it does like a super attack. If in Raven /Gleaming mode. right. But yeah, that's Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean,
it's a cool change that gives you an appropriate reward for the effort you put in. The currency you gain can
there's nothing else to really talk about. I'll put out everything tomorrow that I discovered off of it. I think that camera though is just a little like ridiculous. Not that it's bad. Like it just moves like incredibly fast.
It's rare that you wait for a game for more than a decade and it finally comes and it seems to be everything you wanted and more. But so far, Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be that game. October 21st can't come fast enough. Do you have any questions about Ninja Gaiden 4? Let me know in the comments, as I'm planning to do a follow-up to go through as many of them as I can.
I will
Thanks
ask.
for watching, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
My question is, I will ask what that fourth Nimpo is. That's all I want to know. That's the only question I don't have. Ninja Gaiden 4 looked like how Platinum Games would make a Ninja Gaiden, not Team Ninja. I agree. Not to say that that's bad, because like I like Platinum Games gameplay in everything, but like and like that they're my favorite devs. Like I feel like they can't make a bad game. Like I don't know a Platinum game that is bad. Like zero. Every game I played, Bayonetta, from Vanquish, Bayonetta, Astral Chain. I didn't get to play the Transformers game. They got a Legend of Korra game. I didn't get to play that either. But like, I don't think they could make a bad game. They made that one game, Wonderful 101. I still haven't completed that because like a lot of Switch games I just haven't been getting back to. But yeah, man. Nier. You thought the first Nier, I would say, lacked. I would say the first Nier lacked. That's when they was getting started. I will say, but even that game, like I can't say it's a trash game because a lot of people liked it. A lot of people like different endings. I like the second one, it's Automata, right? The first one was Replicant. The second one was Automata. I like that. I like the combat and everything. I just wish it was a more difficult game. Like I think it was just too simple and easy, but I hear you. I can respect that. I can respect that. Saying Nier is trash. But yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna be playing Lost Soul Aside at the end of the month. I gotta wait for my copy of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound because I got a physical copy, so I have to wait for it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything I missed? Anything y'all saw? I'm about to end the stream. I forgot I was even streaming on Twitch. Can remove that. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4. Oh, reminder, ask these people what that Nimpo is. like I'm still looking at it right now. Let me see, is this anywhere in this video that he changes the Nimpo at all? He changes to it. I just saw like a glimpse. I haven't read any interviews. Oh, that was that. Yeah, right here he had the Void equipped. Right here he has the Art of the Void equipped right there. But then like, why is the thing on the right side crossed out? That's what I don't understand. You figure they all have the same build, right?
Flying swallow attack that allows you to quickly dash towards an enemy out of a jump and potentially slice their head off.
Interesting. Hold on. Go back.
With just a single strike. New to Ninja Gaiden 2, you've got light attacks, heavy attacks, shurikens, and of course the signature flying swallow attack that allows...
Okay, notice he does a flying swallow here. It does like some slow motion thing.
Flying swallow attack that...
And then I don't know why that thing turned green. I have no idea.
Allows you to quickly...
But like, You see, he has the Nimpo. By the way, that's a crazy way to decapitate somebody because, like, he clearly just attacked him in his kneecap. But sure, your head flies off. Nimpo's, yeah, because the stronger the Nimpo, the stronger the different meter that require. But like, if you notice here, right, like you see how he has access to all four Nimpos, right? When he goes on the wall, it's gonna disable 2 of them.
Dash towards an enemy out of a jump and potentially.
Right, he goes on the wall, and then he does whatever that is, and then 2 of them disappear. Like it just disables them. So I assume like maybe it's something like you can't use them in the air, but I would assume that it would disable them as soon as he jumps, right? But it didn't do that. He did a wall move, and then it disabled them. And then the bottom one, which is the void, and then the one on the left, the phoenix looking thing, are still active. It's just grayed out, like as if you can't use the 2 on the up and the right you can't use, but the bottom and the left you can.
Head off with just a single strike. New to Ninja Gaiden 4 is a powered up form for both Yakumo.
And then it comes back. Like, what? I didn't understand that.
Flying swallow attack that allows you to quickly dash towards an enemy out of a jump and potentially slice their head off.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand now. Now I understand. I don't understand why, but I understand what happened. Okay.
Flying swallow attack.
I'm gonna tell you what I understood, and I'm gonna tell you what I don't understand. Okay. As you just said, each Nimpo uses different amount of meter, right? Now he does a move off the wall which uses meter. Why an off the wall move doesn't use meter? I do not understand. I mean, why it does use meter? I do not understand. I have no idea why. That's just like I can't explain that to you. Because look,
you to quickly dash
he goes on like whatever this is. I guess press LB, right? And then he does this attack. He did whatever this powerful slash is. I guess it's an instant flying swallow. He goes down and kills you, whatever. Uses the meter, but like, why? Why would that use that meter when there's another meter below it for those kind of moves? You get what I'm saying? Like that's just very odd. Like I'm just saying, bro. But yeah, that's very, very odd.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is a powered up form for both Yakumo and Ryu. Accessed by holding down the left trigger that allows them to use slower but much harder hitting attacks. Powered by a meter that is filled primarily by landing hits with your base form and by using obliteration techniques on dismembered foes. You'll need to use this form primarily to break through an enemy's guard once he's...
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, actually. So the meter underneath that... But no, he uses it later on too. Like, I'm confused.
You need to use this form...
So he uses the meter right now to do his power up, his gleaming move, right? He did a gleaming move to guard break the enemy, right? Which that's fire, by the way. The way he disappears after doing it is pretty clean. But the purple meter, the transformation meter, he uses in another segment. He uses some of that meter. That's why I didn't get. I thought those moves used that meter, not the meter above it.
An enemy's guard once they start blocking your standard attacks.
Or I want to see if it shows it here.
Especially powerful red glowing attacks.
Oh, see, he just used it just now. He used it to block.
Yakumo's blood form allows him to use it or to guard against one of the many or to guard their base.
Oh, he's explaining it right now.
And by using obliteration
a little
techniques
bit
on
of it.
dismembered foes.
Right.
You'll need to use this form primarily to break through an enemy's guard once they start blocking your standard attacks. Or to guard against one of the many.
So how come when he guards though it uses the other meter? If you're saying that's the same thing, that can't be the same thing. He drained meter for blocking, but it allowed him. I think he.
Or to guard against one of the.
But he still took chip damage though. So what did you really block?
Many especially powerful red glowing attacks that many larger enemies and bosses like to use. Yakumo's Blood Raven form allows him to use a giant blood sword that extends and allows for some really cool looking attacks that hit a wide area, while while Ryu's Gleam form allows him to use the kinds of multi-hitting high-speed sword slashes that you would normally get from charging up an ultimate technique. But
I see. I would have to play it myself to understand it more. But basically what he was trying to say is that when you're in the gleaming transformation, like his regular attacks become like UTs.
It's the small touches and improvements that really made me fall in love with Ninja Gaiden 4's combat.
See, that was a level 2 UT right there.
Normally get from charging up an ultimate technique. But it's the small touches and improvements.
What in the world? He had one essence though.
Allows him to use the kinds of
Look, he kills the guy.
High-speed sword slashes that you would normally get.
That's his essence. How did you get 2 essence out of the guy that's not even dead yet? You see, shuriken him, he touched the floor, he did an instant land UT, which by the way is an advanced technique. I don't know why every person that plays the game knows that now. But he gets the second essence. It doesn't come from anywhere except above.
Allows him to use the kinds of multi-hitting high-speed sword slashes that you would normally get from charging up.
1, 2, 3. You could absorb the soul out of somebody who ain't dead. What are you, Shang Tsung? Like, how are you doing that?
But it's the small touches and improvements that really made me fall in love with Ninja Gaiden 4's combat. The way.
Okay, one thing I dislike, and that's kind of cheap to me, in a sense, and I don't mean to like to nitpick Team Ninja for it, but if you notice, the animation in the UT is the same animation repeated over and over again. It's not like a whole unique cool combo like in Ninja Gaiden 2. Like it's just the same animation. Like literally look at it.
You would normally get from charging up an ultimate technique, but it's the
1, 2 slash, right?
Touches and improvements that
slash
really made me fall in love with
slash. It's the same thing, just repeated. It's like ching slash, ching ching slash, ching ching slash until they
you're now
dead.
more encouraged to use the environment to your advantage.
But I was thinking that I was gonna say that. However, you ain't kill an enemy with a shuriken. Bro, look, slash 1, 2, 3. When was that?
Normally get from charging up an ultimate.
You could be right, actually. I only say that he could have probably died from the third slash, because if you look in the upper left, the karma, it says consecutive kill, which means that he would have been dead. That's a little crazy though, to know like, yo, my full combo I don't even have to do a full combo to kill you. Like, I'm just gonna do an air combo, stop in the middle of it because you're already dead in the air, do some shurikens like that, touch the floor, and do my UT. And absorb the soul before the essence is even out of your corpse.
But it's the small touches and improvements that really made me fall in love with Ninja Gaiden 4's combat. The way that guillotine throws now home in on enemies and can.
Oh, that again, that right there. This instant dodge broken move right here. Zoom. What? It's broken. Bro, I'm telling you. There's gonna be a no-hit run because of that. Something has to be done. Unless that is easy mode only. I'm telling you.
Ultimate techniques right after landing from an Izuna drop or a flying swallow. Or the way you can grapple up to zip up to a flying drone, leap off them, land
Bro, we could always do that in every Ninja Gaiden. What's he talking about?
Drive them into the ground.
You could do that all the time.
This is exactly the kind of substantial, but ultimately
how'd you miss that flying swallow? What in the world?
Not
supposed to miss that.
I had hoped Ninja Gaiden 3 would be. Perhaps the thing I was most delighted about, though, was that Ninja Gaiden 4's boss battles, or at least the 2 that I've played so far,
that right there is where you do the clash.
Outside of a handful of exceptions, bosses have never really been a particularly strong suit of the series. But right out the gate, the first boss,
I disagree with that, bro. I disagree with that. Like, every boss in Ninja Gaiden was unique. Like you know how many people struggled to beat Alma back in the day? Like the first Alma, like if you didn't know about level 2 Dragon Sword, you struggled against that boss. You just did.
Enforcer was a
So I can't say like the bosses haven't been a strong point. Bosses is what makes this game good.
That was reactive to what I was doing. He would parry my attacks and follow up with a quick counterattack of his own. If I stood too far away, he would quickly close the distance and bring the aggression
That
to
right
me.
there.
He would
That right there, bro.
unblockable attacks to simultaneously threaten and provide me with an opportunity to stun him by quickly hitting him with an attack out of Blood Raven stance. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole fight, and even when I died, I would catch myself smiling at how much fun I was having.
That's called
the
real
second
AI.
boss was a little less traditional, as after our first encounter she fled, leaving me to chase her through a distorted demon hellscape, but the actual battle itself was no less impressive. She wielded a giant umbrella that she would twirl around continuously, forcing me to be precise with my blocks whenever she got close. Another thing I appreciated about both these fights were the grapple points that I could quickly use to zip out of the way, and then flying swallow right back to keep up the aggression. My demo gave me a ton of skills unlocked right from the start, and while that was very much appreciated in the sense that I had Ryu and Yakumo's full set of tools available for me to play around with, it also did give me a good sense of what the progression would be like in the full game, and how much of that arsenal
Was
battle
that there
itself was
the whole
no
time?
less.
Oh, it is. I was just looking at the targeting, the little targeting thing
once
on
I get my
there.
hands on the full version. At the very least, I can say that the training and tutorial tools in Ninja Gaiden 4 seem excellent. There's a full training mode where you can practice against customizable enemies. You're able to look back and get
That's kind of
explainers
true.
with video on every technique that you've learned, full combo lists, the whole works.
But it's also
While the levels
preview
are
to
linear
people
and
that
I didn't
don't
happen to
like-
find any golden scarabs
they
or
haven't
crystal skulls,
really
there are still things to do
went
and
through it
find
like
off
that.
the beaten path. There are terminals throughout the level that come with submissions, such as defeat X number of enemies in Y location, or locate a number of creatures called Gordies that are gourd-shaped fiends that you can capture by completing a quick button press minigame.
That was the collectible then. But you're saying there's a mission to collect those? They told us that the Gordy thing is the collectible, so I don't understand like why he said he didn't get
By
it.
far
He
the
didn't
coolest thing
find
to find, though,
thing.
are the combat challenge rooms, where you can actually set your health handicap and get a reward based on how hard you make the challenge for yourself.
Right.
I love the challenge rooms in the OG Ninja Gaiden 2, so I was super happy to see a form of them return. And the ability to essentially set your difficulty is a cool change that gives you an appropriate reward for the effort you put in. The currency you gain can be used to purchase items and abilities at the shop, but again, I didn't really have to engage with this all that much in this preview build, since most of the things I needed were already provided to me. It's rare that you wait for a game for more than a decade, and it finally comes.
Yeah,
and it
I
seems
was
to be
noticing that
everything
too.
you wanted and more. But so far, Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be that game. October 21st can't come fast enough.
Alrighty. Yeah. I have to touch this game myself. I have another person who is going to Gamescom who's gonna play it as well. So I want to hear back from him as well. But I will ask these people about the Nimpos because I want to be clear on the Nimpos before. I mean, it's not very important. It's not like that's not a thing that decides whether I buy the game or not. I just would like to know, like, you know, what are the 4 Nimpos that you have? Because 2 of them we know for sure. The other 2, not so much. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Been like, I don't even know how long I was streaming for. Oh, where does it say? It was a little over an hour. But yeah, I'm gonna make a video collage tomorrow with like just the stuff that is in the game and whatnot. All right. But with that, I am out of here. I'm hungry. I gotta eat. I ain't eat dinner yet. It's 11 o'clock. But yo, thanks for coming by.